Go live. Welcome back to Esther's Breeze, where we sit back, chat, and shoot the breeze. Thank you all so much for your love and support. It's so appreciated. This, in fact, is my 11th interview and my 12th episode, so it's kind of a milestone-ish. I'd like to give out a big thank you to Jenny DeHame from PAX Management, and to my mentor and good friend, Robert D'Alessio, and my new producer and partner in crime, Mr. Fernando Renzo. I'd also like to let you know that Esther's Breeze in this particular episode is available on the Esther's Breeze YouTube channel and on Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel and live on Facebook. So today's guest is Mr. Bobby Del Rio. Bobby Del Rio is an actor, writer, filmmaker, and producer. He wrote and directed the film The Market, which is now on Amazon Prime in the US and UK. In Canada, it's available on Vimeo on demand. He is the creator and showrunner of the series In Real Life, which started as a web series and sold to Bell Media for TV broadcast. He's also a reoccurring character on the hit web series My Roommate's an Escort. He's perhaps best known as a playwright. Titles of his plays include The Market, Porn Life in 40 Years, Childhood, Christian Values, When Children Fall, Professionally Ethnic, and Half-Chinx Taking Over the World. He's also a Clubhouse rock star with 11.5, which I had to revise today, followers in only 4 months. He head moderates 5 rooms and he guest moderates in many, many rooms. He's a graduate of the University of Toronto, Sheridan College Theatre and Drama Studies program. He's also the founder-president of Include, which is Canada's largest multicultural network in theatre, film, and TV. Now, Bobby created this web series to the one that's called In Real Life to deal with online trolls. And I have this beautifully crafted 1-minute video that I'd like you to see.
Online, everyone is a brawler. In some ways, it enables the worst part of humanity. The narcissism, posturing, the bullying. What if you met them in real life? Would they have that same bravado? I was mercilessly bullied online. Somebody started an I Hate Bobby Del Rio campaign on Facebook and became this vicious cycle of abuse that I kept going back to. Intellectually, I didn't believe it. But emotionally, I felt like nothing else existed. But then I thought, I'm not going to run away from this. I'm not going to hide. So I created a web series entitled In Real Life, including the perspective of the bully and the victim, and this deep, insidious emotionality that happens when you're vulnerable and when people exploit that. The source of pain manifests itself in the stories I continue to tell.
That is so powerful. Let's bring on Bobby Del Rio. Hey.
What up? I don't know. What am I supposed to... Here it is.
Yeah, really. So
here he is. Finally.
He's finally here. That is so powerful. Oh my God. I know that we spoke earlier and you told me that in fact you did, this is all real. You did experience online bullying and the trolling that goes with it. And that's what inspired you to write that series. So
you know what's funny? It's actually gotten worse since then.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, because my profile's higher now. So I just get attacked every day. This is the metaphor for the industry, but this is how I feel. I wake up, I yawn, I stand up, I get kicked in the balls, and I start my day.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. You do so much. You're an actor, you're a writer, producer, director. There must be one of those titles that you feel most passionate about.
You think there would be. And yes.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I just kind of do what I want, It's funny. Like, this whole Clubhouse thing is such a fucking blur. Don't swear. It's such a blur because I don't really...
More love.
I know. I don't know what I do. I just talk, and then people are like, yeah, he's talking, follow him. And now I have 11,500 followers, and I'm like, okay. I didn't have a plan. I just talk. I do rooms. I don't know. People are interested, I guess.
So what inspired you to join Clubhouse in the first place, and why did you get so involved to the point that you have your own club called Bobby Del Rio? That's, original, but to the point. Exactly. And you have about 5 major rooms.
Yeah, I cut it down to 4. I was doing 5. I'm doing like 4 now. But I'm do 75 rooms a week, so.
Because you moderate on a lot of them as well.
Yeah. So now I'm on all the biggest stages of Clubhouse.
So what does that mean, on the biggest stages?
Okay, so I was, I still am one of the top mods in film, right? So all the film rooms, like obviously not every single one, but the biggest ones, I'm like a mainstay, right? You almost have to think of it. They're almost like these like shows. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, like a recurring character in all these different shows. But it was just for film. But in the last maybe 2-3 weeks, I've been focusing on just the biggest rooms generally, which usually are the business rooms or more general conversation. So now I'm becoming friends with most of those mods. So I get modded in those now too. So literally every hour, I have my choice of 4 rooms. So I usually just go into the biggest one. And I kind of just do that for 100 hours a week. And that's what it is.
So for those people who don't know, and I'm sorry they can Google it, but if you'd like to explain a little bit what Clubhouse is, the app.
Yeah, sure. It's funny, like in a way, I'm this sort of like spokesperson for Clubhouse because like literally 17 interviews I've had set up in a month. And a lot of people don't really know what Clubhouse is, right? Because if you're not on it, it's still like a small percentage of the population that's on it. You don't really know what it is. So it's like, when are they going to start paying me? Clubhouse. When are you going to start paying me, Clubhouse? When are you going to start paying me?
So I just let everybody know, Bobby met Fernando Renzo before the show, and he's been on this Italian.
I know.
It's cool. We love it.
Hey, Clubhouse, I'm gonna promote you, but what are you gonna do for me, Clubhouse? 100 hours a week I put into you, but what are you gonna do for me?
So
I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now. Clubhouse. So Clubhouse is an audio-only platform.
Yeah.
It's basically like Facebook if all you could do is talk. So you can post one photo, you can do you have like a long bio, whatever, but that's all it is. So it's really just talking. So I think because I'm a performer, right? And I have, I've been doing improv since I was a child, right? So I'm very, very comfortable. Like this is live. I'm like, oh no, I don't care, right? Like it's like I'm very comfortable public speaking, performing, all this my whole life. So for this platform, it's really just about, in a way, public speaking.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'll speak today. I spoke in 2 rooms that had over 500 people in them.
Yeah, I was following you in one of them. Yeah, business-oriented room.
Yeah, they got up to 700. I don't know, whatever. And I don't care. I joke around. I'm very loose. A lot of people get very nervous, but I don't care because I'm a performer, right? I've been a professional actor since the 90s. So I don't care. I'll say whatever I want. Fucking 800 people, 8,000 people. It doesn't matter to me. And I think it separates me because a lot of people are kind of nervous, so they're kind of stiff. But for me, like I joke around, I say this, I'm more authentic, I'm just me. Yeah, and so it comes off, I think, pretty well. I think 11,500 people think so.
So how did that translate into Instagram, for instance? Because I know that it does affect Instagram and gives you organic followers. Like, how did that work?
Yeah. Okay, so basically, there's no DM function on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So you just link, and whatever, I'm just saying for the audience. I know you know this, but so you have to link it to your Twitter and your Instagram. So you have your choice to link it to either or both. I link both. So Twitter, maybe I got an extra, I don't know, a couple hundred followers. But my Instagram, I don't know. What I always say is I'm funnier than I am good looking. So I never really cared about Instagram. You know what I mean? So I was like, in like 5 years, literally just get 1,000 followers, which is like nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody cares. And then in 3.5, 4 months, whatever it is, I have gone from 1,000 followers that nobody cares about to close to 4,500 followers on Instagram. So it's boosted like 450%, which sounds like better than it is, but it's a lot. But it's real. I don't buy followers, I think.
Oh, I know that.
I went from getting like, Esther, 3 messages a week. Oh, hello, Bobby. Hi, man. You know, to 300.
Oh, I believe it.
500. I can't even keep track. It feels like every minute. Probably isn't every minute. It feels like it. I just get a new message, a new message, a new message, a new message. I'm just like, and then people want to talk to me all the time. Oh, let's talk. It's like, I don't have time to talk to you. I got to talk to Esther.
Let's get our priorities straight, right? Yeah. And but you're like instantaneous. Like if I sent you a message, you were like 3 seconds later you answer. So you're there. You're very available, and that makes a difference as well. And I usually ask artists this, like the importance of social media. What do you think the importance of social media is as an artist?
Wow. Okay, so we mean like in society, or do we mean for like an artist?
For an artist, for your career,
Got it. Okay, so look, you don't need social media to be an artist, because an artist just makes art, right? So you don't need to. You can just perform in things, or write things, or direct things, or draw things, whatever it is you do, make music. You don't need social media to be an artist. But I will say, in the business of art, you really do need social media. It's the #1 marketing tool. To be honest, there's a bit of a debate. I had put together a Clubhouse room, and it was like, so I became friends with Tori Spelling on Clubhouse. So like literally, like I'm texting Tori Spelling. I'm like, what's happening? Like I grew up with 90210. She's awesome, by the way. I love Tori Spelling. Okay, so I brought Tori on this panel, and then I brought on like a ton of like, whatever, YouTubers, TikTokers, people with millions of whatevers. And so I had basically had like a debate, but a friendly debate. I was trying to figure out like, okay, so what is the role of social media influencers on Hollywood? I will say I'm a bit older. Right? I'm 43. And so Tori and I sort of agreed, because we're more like inculcated into the mainstream, Hollywood and film culture. I'm repped in Hollywood as well as Toronto. There's a couple managers who want to work with me as well in Los Angeles. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want my team to be. But for the most part, like people don't really care so much if you're an established talent when it comes to like your social media following. But I do think for emerging talent, unestablished talent, they are looking at like the top influencers, right? The people with the most, followers on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. And I think they are giving them chances. I do think most of them fail, quite frankly, because it's a very different thing. I'm a Shakespeare trained actor, right? So it's very, very different to like perform in legitimate film and television than it is to perform on your phone or whatever. They are different art forms. I just think it is hard to go from, let's call it a more informal art form, to more established mainstream film and television. So most influencers I know are not able to secure legitimate management, but some can. So I think it's going to bleed together. But I think social media is going to be has serve 2 main functions for professional artists. Number 1, it's going to be a recruiting tool for the next generation. And number 2, which I think is going to be more useful in the professional world, it's a marketing arm for the artist and the projects associated with said artist.
Yeah.
That's not bad, right?
No, that makes a lot of sense to me. And getting back to Clubhouse, one of my favorite rooms that you moderate is the where is it? But it's the one where you say that film people getting shit done. And
hey.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
My virgin ears.
An offer change your life. That's.
Come on, be nice.
So that is one of my favorite rooms that you moderate. So tell me how you came up with that idea, and do you know any stories of how it changed people's lives?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so the room's called Film and TV People Who Get Shit Done.
Yeah.
I do it every Friday. So I'm doing it tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. it's funny because now every time I say things, I have to say 9 a.m. Pacific, 12
Right.
p.m. Eastern, because a lot of the people who follow me are in Los Angeles.
Right.
They're on the West Coast because Hollywood, right? But yeah, no. So what's funny is that it was random. Like when I first was on the platform, I was experimenting as I created rooms. It was a pop-up, so that means I literally was like, oh, I don't know, I'll write this, and I wrote Film TV People Get Shit Done, and then it was I don't know what time it was, maybe probably around the same time, around noon on a Friday, and I used to just start a room, call it a new title, see what happens, and that room ended up going for 10 and a half hours.
Wow.
Okay, and I got 900 additional followers in one day, in one room. Okay, it's people. Maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to understand Clubhouse is a different platform, right? There's people who I've been there for 4 months now, a bit under. There's people who've been there for 4 months and don't have 900 followers in 4 months.
No, it's an incredible amount. I have 806, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So I got more followers than you have total in one day.
That's
in
crazy.
one room. Now that's never happened to me again. Usually I average about 100 to 150 extra followers a day. But that was crazy. But it was just so popular. Like people like the title, and then on the fly, because basically what happened, there's so many people who joined this thing because they liked the title, and then I ended up coming up with a format which was really just pragmatic. There were so many people who wanted to talk. I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're not allowed to promote, because people would talk for 5 minutes and then make a comment for 1 minute. And there was like hundreds of people, like thousands and thousands of people were part of this room. We went for 10 and a half hours. Okay. So I was like, okay, so no, all you're going to do is offer. So you're just going to bring something to the table, but you're not allowed to promote yourself. And then, and I had a couple of friends who kind of helped out, and then it ended up being really interesting, and then it turned into this, by the end, a very like loving, generous space, because you're only allowed to give, you're not allowed to take.
Yeah.
And so since then, it's become one of the most popular film rooms on Clubhouse, because, and obviously I've become more complex in my thinking about it. But it's about the generosity of spirit, right? So what I like to say is we are not an industry, we are a community. It's about giving. So I don't allow people to promote.
Yeah.
You just give. And sometimes the offer is very simple. Some people are like, I'm here to listen to anybody who needs it, right?
I've heard that. I've sat in that room for hours. I have heard that. And in fact, on a full disclosure, there was one woman who offered to speak to anyone who had a child or who was, on the spectrum of autism. So
Yes.
I actually hooked her up with my son, who has neurodiversity.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a singer-songwriter, and so every once in a while they chat. And
That's
that came
nice.
from your room. So thank you for that. And that's why I
That's
asked you
nice.
about that, because in fact it did. I mean, my son has a new friend, and she's wonderful. She's an actress from the UK.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't know that. That's, wow, real time. No, but so I guess, especially because now I'm pretty popular on the app, so I have a responsibility, I think, you know what I mean? Like I try to like help people. All my rooms are about building community or helping people, right? So my rooms are supporting women. My rooms are supporting people of color. My rooms are supporting LGBTQ. My rooms are about giving. I don't know. It sounds hokey. Maybe I'm trying to create more of a culture of love. So what I say is that, our industry, we're so used to selling and pitching and manipulating. And it's like no more of this. Now it's about giving, helping, sharing. And I think, to be honest, it happened because during the pandemic, the reason I went to Clubhouse too is that I was so sick of the toxicity on Facebook. I've been like a heavy Facebook user, like since its inception, which is, I don't know how long ago, 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, about that.
But it's just during the pandemic, everybody was just disgusting to each other, to the point where I started making positive posts to just get people to stop being so disgusting. And then people started liking the positivity. Like literally, I get messages every day. People are like, I'm getting through the pandemic because of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Which was like shocking because all I said, I would just literally write like, you're beautiful. And like, it would be kind of funny, but because everybody was so negative, because I was just so positive on purpose, I don't know, it like warmed people's spirits or something. So then I realized, especially during the pandemic, how badly, quite frankly, love was needed. So that's what the room is about.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful room. And I know you do others like Italians in Hollywood, Men Supporting Women in Film, Stop Asian Hate, and many, many more. So no, you're making a difference. And I'm glad I told you that story about this young lady from the UK who chats every now and then with my son. It's made a difference.
Yeah, no, it does. Look, because it's like, I know you now, and I was like, oh, fuck, like that really made a difference. You know, that's nice. A little bit. I mean, I'm not going to change the world, but it's like these little kindnesses. I do think that they add up to a better world over time. So. Yeah.
And you and I spoke earlier also about the fact of, I don't think people realize how incredible the networking is on this app. And I spoke to you about this before. Like, I try to tell people, listen, you've got to get on. You've got to spend some time. You've got to go to different rooms. You've got to get on their virtual stage, so to speak, and talk, and even to moderate, because it does. I mean, for yourself, how did it change your life in terms of your career?
Okay, well, I'm in Toronto, Canada, right?
Right.
Now I'm represented in Hollywood, right? I was offered a 2-picture deal as a screenwriter from a Hollywood producer.
Wow.
I've had maybe 15 to 20 collaborations offered to me. I have 2 managers that want to work with me. I have one of the top people on the app wants to create a television series with me. I've had several offers to create a television series or a feature film. I just got the male lead in a project shooting in August.
Wow. In Canada or the US?
In Canada,
okay.
But it's like the U.S. influence, like it's just like it's all part of the same ecosystem, right?
Right.
Yesterday, I had a meeting with a guy. He seems nice, and he had introduced me to a former head of a studio, and turns out he's a multimillionaire. And then we're supposed to have another meeting where he's going to introduce me to billionaires and help work on a like you can't even imagine. Like, I now know many studio execs, top film producers in the world. I also run a room called International Film Financing.
Right. Yes, you do.
And I probably have met 300 to 500 established producers in Hollywood and around the world because of that room, because I do it every week for 4 months. So, and then I was invited to be a guest speaker speaking about international film financing at a film festival in the Caribbean on the weekend. And it's just every day I get offered a new opportunity, whether it's an interview or a job. And these jobs are not like, hey, can you mow my lawn? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, maybe we can make a television series together, right? I should introduce you to my millionaire friend. Right. I should introduce you to my billionaire friend. Like, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I know. We spoke about that, and I've heard this from others as well. This is all authentic. People think, oh no, those people are real. They're scammers. No, it's very real. Oh, Bobby Short Shorts. Wow, I'm really impressed. This is amazing. And he's one of the people I've been telling to get onto Clubhouse.
Bobby.
Do
the name justice. Join Clubhouse. Please, Bobby. From one Bobby to another Bobby.
That's very funny. So,
hey, a little bit.
Hey, Paisano, do you speak any Italian?
Hey,
If he doesn't, you don't.
I swear, I know all the swear words, but
that's all you need to know. Don't worry about it. You're good. That's all.
I'll help you in life.
So, talking about filmmaking, you did produce a feature-length film. It's actually available, like I said earlier, on Amazon Prime in the UK and the US, and
it's on Vimeo on demand in Canada.
Yes, that's on demand. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play a little trailer so that the
Go
folks can see. Yeah, it looks like an amazing film.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time! Fight! We welcome to the ring the most vicious, the most violent fighter we've seen in a long time! Fight! He is your man! His name! Alright, kid, this is your one chance. Don't blow it. Let's do this. Are you ready? Are you ready to fight? Let's fight! Let's fight! Let's fight! Let's fight! Let's get down to the nitty-gritty! Let's fight! Let's fight! Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's fight. Let's fight. Come on, motherfuckers. Let's step in the ring. Go up against a train man. Let's see what you can bring. This is true or strong. That's the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, that looks incredible. Fernando saw it earlier. He goes, Esther, we have to watch this film after.
Yeah, the language is very, very horrific, just so you know.
Oh, really? Okay, good warning. Okay.
I warn people because some people freak out. Also, like obviously that was pixelated for the podcast, but it's pretty high quality when we actually have the movie.
So what inspired you to because you wrote it? I think originally it was a play. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I wrote and directed it. So it was a play I wrote in 2009 as a response to the subprime mortgage crisis.
Right.
It's basically it was sort of like a conspiracy theory about the subprime mortgage crisis. So it's like a gangster movie about Wall Street. It's like these four guys who crashed the market on purpose to make $12 billion. But it's more like sort of like an elevated Wall Street, because Wall Street films are almost a genre.
Yeah.
But I've elevated it. So the way I would sell it's sort of like Glenn Ross with guns.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you go from making for live theater to making it into a film and then getting it distributed? Like, how does that work?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. Okay. So I did it in 2010.
Okay.
In an office at Jarvis and Adelaide, right downtown Toronto.
Okay.
And it was like, we didn't get that much press, but it was the best response of my career. Like, I literally had people stopping me in the street being like, I said your play's the best play I've seen all year. I emailed every single person my address book, told them to watch it. I'd be like, all right. Then they would take their iPhone and show me. I was like, oh, you did? Oh, okay. And then we sold out pretty much every show. I had some of the best playwrights in Canada tell me it was one of the best plays they'd seen in years. I had some people tell me it was the best play they'd seen in their lives. And I had 50 to 100 people say this has to be a movie. Because I had no intention to be a screenwriter. At that time, I was like, I don't care about films. I'm a playwright.
Right.
I was really inculcated into the playwright world. But then it came from the audience. So I was like, okay, maybe it could be a movie. I had no idea how to do that. And then, it took years, and I decided that I would just figure out how to do it. And I raised a little bit of money on Indiegogo with the help of the cast. We raised $5,500. Yeah, so I ended up making the movie for $12,000. Not a lot of money.
Not at all.
But it ended up turning out pretty well. Now, it did. We played a festival in India.
Okay.
We toured some cities in India. We were in Italy, where apparently they hated it. I was like, all right, well, what are you going to do?
Why would they hate it?
Well, whatever. Who cares? It was years ago. Apparently, the guy who programmed it didn't watch it. And my movie is also sort of a sub theme. It's about toxic masculinity.
Okay.
Although that term didn't really exist when I created it, so I would refer to it as raw male aggression. But these days, there's a name for that. It's called toxic masculinity, and it's very well researched. Okay, so the movies. I read books and documentaries and articles and magazine, you name it. And this is how these guys actually talk, right? They're very, very sexist, very, very racist, very, very homophobic. So what I did is I turned the movie into an allegory for capitalism. So it's like a metaphor. So the way the guys treat each other and the way they treat everyone is an extension of the way the system of money sort of dictates disgusting attitudes around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people who are quite thoughtful and intellectual understand that element. Yeah. Some people don't. Like some people, it's funny because some people will be like, "Makes me want to be a bond trader." Woo! And I was like, "You didn't understand the symbolic elements of the. It looks awesome." I'm like, okay. I mean, look, some people like that because it's very sort of like a thrill ride. Like we've had a lot of really good testimonials, and it's a very sort of captivating movie. But you need to understand that it's an allegory. Some people have accused me of being racist or sexist. I was like, really, you can't differentiate between a character and a point of view about a subculture? But what are you going to do? Some people are stupid. I said it.
I know you said it. You did not put yourself in the film. You did not test yourself.
No.
Why?
You know, it's funny. Even the cast was like, "Why didn't you were in the film?" But I guess for me, because I never made a film. I never even made a short film. I had made a short film. No, never. Nothing. So now, since then, I think I've directed like 10 to 15 short films. And I directed every episode of IRL, right? The web series I created.
Yeah. I actually watched a few episodes of it years ago, before I even knew you existed.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But that all came after. So I had never made a film. I had directed one thing on mini DV in my early 20s, which was really co-directed by my brother Tony, who's like more like the filmmaker in the family.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so he was a DOP, and he actually edited my feature film, The Market. He did a very good job, actually. But I had never directed. So The Market was actually my first time ever directing a film.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, so my DOP, Andrew Hunter, he was very young at the time, but he was brilliant. He knew everything technically. He was so talented. I learned a lot from him. A lot of the cinematography, obviously, was him. A lot of the shots are him. But one thing I was good at is that I know the story very, very well because I wrote it. And I know acting really well because I'm a professional actor. At this now, it's like literally, I've been paid to act for 27 years, right? So,
my goodness.
So I picked good actors. You know, Julian Dezadi and Kyle McDonald were from our play. They were in the original production. So I knew like they're gonna smoke it. And then I had to recast 2 supporting roles because the other guys who were in the play had left the industry. So I had to get new people. You know, and I rehearsed it like a play, which I don't think too many people do in film. But that was my background, right? At that point, I had directed, I don't know, 15, 20, 25 plays when I made that feature film. So I actually had a lot of experience making art, but never a movie. So to be honest, it wasn't so hard because Andrew really managed the production logistics in terms of cinematography. And and what in a way, it was accidental, but what I've learned is the main skill of a director is to work with the actors and to interpret the story. So in a way, it was perfect because my DOP, Andrew, was really kind of like, I think it should look like this. And I would be like, oh, okay, maybe I would have a slight adjustment, but I trusted him. And then I was focusing on the storytelling. So in the industry, you refer to that basically as an actor's director.
Yes.
And that I'm definitely an actor's director, right? So there was one pivotal scene in the movie where one of the actors was not quite at the level that I wanted to be. I ran 45 minutes of acting exercises on set.
Wow.
During, it was like an 18-hour day. But his performance went from flat to one of the best performances and scenes in the movie. But I put 45 minutes of Meisner into like guiding him, and it's like we would do scenes and the actors are all good, but they get tired. But I'm an actor, so I know the energy needed. Exactly. So I'd be like, let's go. And I'm like, bring this energy because they need it to be elevated in some scenes. And I know how it has to feel as a performer. And so there's like, I'm literally like screaming. They finally get there and I'm like, action. And then it would go in. So I get the performances that I want to get, right?
Yeah. I actually have a little video about the behind the scenes, and some of the actors talk about the film and working with you. I'm just going to put that up. All
right. Nice fucking question. That's a tough one. It's about power. It's about conquering. It's about using money as a weapon.
These 4 guys who pretty much take the world on and win.
So it was like Wall Street meets Entourage meets a mob movie, which was really, really neat.
Loss of innocence, corruption. I think it's also a coming-of-age film.
The power dynamics between men.
To me, it represents kind of what goes around comes around.
The script is basically a metaphor for capitalism. This, deplorable cesspool of money.
It just represents a good time. Like, it's a pretty fun movie. It's an awesome movie.
It's refreshing how raw it is.
It's high. I think it represents the highest stakes someone could
You did your research, eh? You found some clips. You like planned it all. You had
I even had more clips. Oh yeah. I'm
what a pro you are, eh?
What are you talking about? So I know that we spoke the other day about a major publication in Toronto featuring you in the magazine. So you feel, in a sense, that you've arrived? I mean, this is, all the things that are happening to you?
Not really. I don't know. I mean, I've been in the industry 25 years or whatever. I don't know. I guess, look, I'm excited. I mean, I've never had, can you imagine 17 interview requests in a month? 17.
I know. And what I love about you is that you put it out there. You're so authentic and real. And it's like, you talk about your follower count. You talk about how many interviews. You're like a kid in the candy store. You're so excited.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It comes across. And I love that. And that's what
at the same time, look, but at the same time, I'm not up my own ass either, though, right? Like, I put it this way. I started my career with a 30-minute television documentary about me. Okay? So, can you imagine?
Why?
That's how I started my career.
How did that come in fruition? Like, how did that come about?
Look, they needed a playwright. I knew the thing. They liked me. They just picked. I had a play I did at Summerworks in 2000. That was a big hit. I'd won a playwriting award at the University of Toronto Drama Festival. Everything just works out. You know somebody and they like your thing and they watch your play. It's just, this is the industry, right? But I literally had a camera crew following me around while I was in university.
Oh my goodness.
That's not a normal thing. I was like the Kim Kardashian of Toronto playwrights.
Before it was a thing.
Yeah, before reality shows existed.
Right.
So it was a very weird, and it's not a normal thing. But I will say, I never was like, oh, I deserve this. Here I am. I mean, I'm sure I had moments, but it was just very weird. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, right? But, but I will say,
number 4, it's okay. Yeah.
Oh my god! But I started my career like this sort of like highly publicized playwright. So I was on the cover of Now magazine with our director.
Wow.
So like literally, and I like right out of school. Right. So it was like when they were doing our photo shoot for the cover of Now, I had the television camera crew filming the photographer, shooting me. I was just like, what is happening right now? So, okay, but here's the point of it, right? So that's how I started my career. Okay.
And how old were you?
Well, okay, so I guess it started when I was 22, and then it aired when I was 23.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it was pretty young. I'm 43 now. It's 20 years ago. Okay, but I will say, what I thought is that, okay, I'm famous now, right? Not like world famous, but I was like, oh, I'm a little bit famous, you know? And then I was like, okay, I'll just go around and I'll be famous. But that's not what happens. I didn't know that because I was new to the industry. And I started my industry with like almost too much publicity. Luckily, it happened at a young age and I was university educated. So it's not like I was 15 years old, right?
Right.
But then what happened is that it went away, right? So I remember it was like the next summer, somebody else was on the cover of Now. And I was like, but don't you remember when I was, hey guys. And I remember like I had been invited to the Now magazine Christmas party the year that I was on the cover with the director, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to get invited every year. And then the next year, I remember my friend was like, oh, the Now magazine Christmas party was great this year. I was like, oh yeah. Was that was tonight? Like I had no idea. And then and it wasn't personal or anything. Like that publication's been great to me over the years, but it's a project-based industry, right? So you have to understand that when you're in the spotlight, you get the spotlight, but the spotlight goes away. And so this is just what it is. So it goes up and down, up and down, up and down your whole career. So now, obviously, I'm at an up, all these interviews and this thing and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's very exciting, but I know that it will go back down because it goes up and down for everybody.
Yeah, that's
not
very
personal.
true.
Yeah, there's gonna be a new platform, or they're gonna get sick of my face. How could you get
your
sick
voice?
Yeah, or it's funny. You might get sick of my voice, or who knows? Anything could happen, right? So I'm enjoying it. I'm very excited, but also I know all good things come to an end. So that's what I'm just setting up my relationships. I'm setting up projects for the future. I have a lot of projects that will happen. And then you just time it out. This is what it is. So I don't really get too excited. I don't really get too crestfallen. I kind of just ride out the waves.
Yeah, which is the best way to do it. And I know there was a second documentary about you as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, that was the CBC, the one that you showed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's actually Karina Evans, who's I think she directed something like 4 music videos for Drake. She's like a major director in the world now, and yeah. But this is just what it is. I mean, you know, I'm kind of just used to. Like, I've been interviewed over 350 times.
Yes, I saw that in your bio. I love that you do that. You put it all out there.
That's what it is.
You know, and it's not that you're bragging. You're just like being very matter of fact. You're just like, yeah, I've been in, and you even say something like, oh yeah, and about 100 of them were podcasts, and oh yeah, it's not a big
I don't really care. It's just what it is. It's like people like. I'm also half Chinese, half Italian.
Yes,
I've been interviewed 350
It's a
times.
very strange mix. Am I wrong? Is that, have you come across other people with
It's
that?
normal to me. I don't know.
Of course, it's normal to you. That
But
makes
everyone is like, oh, wow, how unusual. I'm like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny, like I wanted to have an anthology of my plays called A Stereotypical Chinese Italian.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, to me, that's what normal is.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So it's everyone else in the world that's screwed up. I'm the normal one.
Were you brought up in Toronto?
I was, yeah. We lived in the Bahamas for 4 years when I was like a baby.
Okay.
And then my dad went to law school Western, so we were in London, Ontario for 3 years. Moved back to Toronto in grade 4, so it was 9. So I've been in Toronto for 35 years. Although now I am planning to move to Los Angeles.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Well, my whole team is in LA now. All my projects are being set up in LA. It's like, it's now at the point where me not being Los Angeles is actually impeding the progress of my slate of projects.
Right.
But we're just, you know, we're still in lockdown in Toronto.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, it's pretty bad there. We're actually getting our curfew lifted tomorrow. So we're all very excited. Everybody's booking terraces. The restaurants aren't open because Montreal is still going to remain. We have, our zones are in colors. I think yours are different. Like the phases are.
I don't know what they're doing. The rules change every week in Toronto. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Right. Yeah. No, I understand. Well, hopefully this will be over soon. And I was curious on how the process is for someone like yourself to move to LA. Like what do you have to do legally?
It's a lot. I mean, okay, so I have been working with an immigration lawyer. I mean, look, luckily I have been interviewed so much, and also this latest slate of press will help as well.
Yeah.
You essentially have to, like, I can apply for an O1 visa or a green card.
Yeah.
I probably have enough of a resume to get either. The green card is more risky because, you know, it's a really more of a long-term commitment to the United States. So they're a little more, actually, and again, I don't know, this is just what I'm being told, but I just hear it's a lot more, they're a lot more, what's the word, discerning. Where the O1 visa should be very easy, and my agency is going to sponsor me, and I have everything set up that way. But it's not as good because it's a shorter amount of time, and you're limited to like a couple different areas. So it's quite a long process where you have to like petition the U.S. government to show, look at me, I'm amazing. Here's this article and this article and this documentary, and I did this and this and this letter. Like I basically have to like prove to the U.S. government that I'm worthy of being an extraordinary citizen.
Yeah, I understand.
So, yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck and
thank you.
And much success. Your star is rising. You've been an absolute pleasure to speak to. And I'm going to ask you to stick around for 2 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just going to say goodbye to everyone there who's watching. Thank you so much. We had a great time, and we will see you next week at 8 o'clock on Esther's Breeze. Ciao for now. All right. Thank you so much, Bobby, once again. And we will see you next week, like I said earlier, at 8 p.m. on Esther's Breeze. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye now.